The triumphal entry of Jesus into Jerusalem is recorded by all four Gospels. This event is remembered yearly by Christians as beginning the final days of Christ's ministry before his crucifixion. There are two notable Old Testament references recorded by the Gospels. First, they all have the crowd welcoming Jesus by laying cloaks and branches to carpet the roadway with cries of praise from Psalm 118. Psalm 118 is about victory and salvation coming from God to Jerusalem. It contains reference to the stone that the builders rejected becoming the cornerstone, a theme picked up on by the prophets Isaiah and Zechariah in reference to the Messiah, and is used in the New Testament of Jesus. The significance of this was not lost on the Pharisees, whose alarm is recorded in Luke and John. The second Old Testament reference is recorded in Matthew and John, and it's a claim that Jesus' entry on a donkey's colt was a fulfillment of the prophecy of Zechariah 9. John adds that this fulfillment wasn't immediately apparent to the disciples, but only after Christ's glorification did they connect all of the dots. Zechariah 9 says, "Rejoice greatly, daughter Zion. Shout, daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you righteous and victorious, lowly, and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. I will take away the chariots from Ephraim and the war horses from Jerusalem, and the battle bow will be broken. He will proclaim peace to the nations." The chapter goes on to speak of the victory of God's people over their oppressors, and how God, the shepherd and king, will save his people and give them peace. Zechariah's prophecy of the king and the donkey reaches back to Israel's history and her earlier prophets. The image of a king riding lowly or afflicted on a donkey recalls to mind King David. David, the man whose line the Messiah would come from. David was once forced to leave Jerusalem in mourning when his son Absalom successfully took the kingdom from him. The Bible tells us that the remaining family of rejected King Saul provided donkeys for David to ride. David is eventually vindicated and brought back to Jerusalem while struggling to prevent a civil war. David, the great-grandfather of the Messiah, was victorious over the rebellion, but he had been brought low by his own sin. Now, Zechariah saw the future Messiah victoriously and lowly entering Jerusalem on a donkey and securing great peace for the people. He no doubt reckoned back also to the prophet Isaiah's image of the suffering servant, a king in the line of David who suffered not for his own sin like David, but rather for our sin. But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. A different kind of victory was coming for the people of God in Jerusalem. Not one over a physical enemy, but over a greater and darker one. Their sin would be atoned for once and for all. Christ would fulfill his role as the suffering servant and take his place as the king who brings peace.
Thank you so much for watching. We want to keep producing high-quality biblical content, but we can't do it without your support. If you feel called to support us, please click the link in the description under Donate. Your support really means a lot to us.